again, everyone, it's me, MadameMacabre, and welcome back to another video. Been a while since I've done another one of these facecam videos. I'm sorry, I'm not entirely all glamored up today. This is just like hair just freshly dried out of the shower, nothing on my face. I actually didn't know I was going to be recording this until like right before I sat down to set this up and start doing it, because something happened and I just kind of felt like I needed to talk about this, so you'll have to forgive the not so polished look. But it's just important enough to want to talk about it while I'm still available, because I'm going to be going to visit a friend in just a day or so as of the time of me recording this, and it's something I wanted to have ready to share with you guys. Things are not great right now is a pretty fair statement, I think, for a lot of people in this sort of generation, the youth right now. And I know this isn't something I generally talk a lot on. However, I think it's something sort of important to speak on, because just the other day, I had a get-together with a friend that I've been friends with since college, several years back. And now, and a lot of people, actually, a lot of friends, people that I care about, they're not feeling great. They're not doing great, and it's really starting to weigh on my heart a lot. And it's got me thinking that many of you are probably feeling the same way too. And whereas my friends, I was able to listen to them and talk to them and comfort them and just sort of share that with them and say these things and talk with them. Not everybody, like many of you probably do have people that you can share that companionship with and have this message with, but I also realize that there are probably a good number of you out there who may not have a circle like that around them right now to have this conversation and to get this support. And for those of you who need to hear this today, this message is really for you guys. So yeah, something that even I myself struggle with a lot nowadays. It's really, really, really easy to be incredibly hard on yourself for feeling like you are not doing enough. You are not reaching those milestones you need to be, which is kind of silly when you think about it, because these life goal milestones that society has set up, they're entirely arbitrary, and in a lot of senses it's like country to country specific. Some things that are important here are not important elsewhere. Like, for instance, a lot of people are feeling really, really down on themselves because as much as they want to, as hard as they're working, they're not able to move out from with their parents. They just can't afford it. And I get that that's a very real thing. There are probably people in your life, maybe even your own older family members. Hell, a lot of this stress and issues are coming from the older generation, and some of them do intend harm with what they're saying, but I feel like most of them, it's coming from a place of ignorance. They don't understand how things are now, and they don't realize that what they're saying is actually hurtful rather than helpful. People pressuring you, making you feel bad because you haven't reached where they think you should be, because that's where they were able to be in their time. But things are very different from back in their time. I was reading on a post somewhere that someone's grandfather was saying that, you know, back in their day, they only made $3 an hour, and yet they still worked hard and were able to go to school, and they were able to get a house and support a family on $3 an hour. So what are you kids whining about, where you've got, you know, national averages of getting close to 15, if not already 15 an hour? Like, you've got way more than we ever did. What are you complaining about? Without acknowledging the fact that inflation is a thing, and those $3 an hour back then equated more similarly to something like $36 an hour nowadays. And frankly, if I was making almost $40 an hour, yeah, I'd have my school paid off, I'd have a house, I'd be able to support a family. Like, if I was making about $40 an hour, I'd be in that boat too. So it's not really comparable, and these are things that just don't resonate with and they just don't seem to get it, whether they're doing it to intentionally be rude or just don't understand. Either way, I guess it doesn't really matter because they're still causing pain. And that's just speaking on those who are stuck with their parents and still working. There are people who are struggling just to find work in the first place. And you are not alone in that. You're not imagining things. It's not like family and the family friends telling you you're being lazy and just not applying. I get it. I know you're applying. There aren't jobs. There are some jobs, but there are way more people applying for them right now than just you. And it seems like there's almost always somebody who they either have more experience than you or they're better at lying about having experience than you. And there's no such thing as an entry-level job anymore. Entry-level job, you gotta have 2 to 3 years of experience right out of school, which it's like creating a paradox. Where do we get this experience from? You mean that you want an intermediate, but they don't want to pay intermediate. So it's frustrating because you have all these young people desperate to work, but there's so few jobs, and the ones that are available have things they can't even meet, so you've gotta almost lie on your resume, which creates issues and stress. And even if you do that, there's hundreds of other people who are also applying for the same thing, competing with you. And since we're in the age of the internet where you can apply and, frankly, people are totally willing to uproot and move if they get hired. So you're not even competing with your local pool anymore. You're competing with everybody. It's a mess. It's really a mess. And it is a hard, scary time to be a young adult right now. And there are definitely some older folks who do understand and they're sympathetic. But I, at least personally, and a lot of my friends, we've encountered a lot of older folks who they don't get it, and frankly, they don't care to get it. They're so stuck in things like their generation is superior, blah 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 blah. Like they're so stuck in being crotchety and mean. They don't care to be educated. In their mind, they're not wrong. But I know I know this isn't particularly great news. I just want you to know, if nobody's told you, that this is indeed the case how things are. You're not crazy, you're not lazy, you're not entitled, you're trying your best, and things, they suck. It's crazy because the whole culture itself is changing. I don't actually know any friends right now that have stuck in the same career for more than a handful of years before jumping to something else. And I know a lot of the older generation think that we're entitled and that's why we do it. We have no loyalty nowadays. It's not the case. If we could find a company that would treat us right, value us, pay us what we're worth, a living wage, just give us just the tiniest modicum of respect in return, we would happily be loyal to them and set down a career. Problem is, they refuse to do that nowadays. They want you to act like you are a pensioner, valued member of the team, when in reality they look at you like you are completely replaceable on a carousel revolving door of new applicants. And frankly, because the job market sucks, they know this to be the case. They can just easily find someone else to fill the job. And it's awful, but if they're not going to treat us well, we're not obligated to give them that loyalty. A lot of the time, we can't even get a raise. They'll refuse to give us raises. And I've seen some shady stuff too, where they ban you about talking about your wages and stuff. I had a job where I got in trouble for talking about wages. Did you know it's actually illegal for them to do this? They are breaking the law by telling you that you cannot discuss wages, because that's how you find out you're being ripped off or underpaid. They don't want you doing it, but that's actually illegal, so mark that down. But I digress. It's very difficult to get pay raises. Our parents could just annually ask for raises, and most of the time they'd get granted. Getting a raise is really difficult now in most places. Yes, there are some wonderful, amazing unicorn job opportunities that do all these amazing things. I understand that that's a thing, and those of you who have that, I'm genuinely happy for you, and I hope you continue to have that happiness and success. But for many, 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 many more in this generation, that's just not the case. For most people, You literally have to threaten to leave, and not just quit because they'll replace you. It has to be the case generally. You have to find a new job, get that new job lined up, have an offer of a better wage, of a better package, and then come to your supervisor and basically go, this is what I'm offered to do the same thing for a competitor. Are you willing to match it or beat it to make me stay? Then you have a chance, but the fact that you gotta go through those many hoops, jump through that many hoops, to get something that has in the past just been something you could normally ask for. It's not great, fam. It's really not great. You're not crazy, you're not lazy, you're not entitled. I get it, because so many folks, they're so out of touch. Like, even my own family, bless them, don't quite get it. And it's not coming from a place of hatred. It's back when I was fresh out of school and looking for jobs, I was consistently told, go in places, go in person and apply there. All they're gonna do is tell you to go online and apply. Some places will even mark you as do not hire because they'll mark that as a weird and needy behavior. That's actually probably gonna hurt you, and it's gonna waste your time and waste your resources. But the amount of times I've been told to do that back when I was younger, fresh out of school and job hunting, like, I am very fortunate to be able to do what I do now, where I'm primarily able to live off of my YouTube content, and frankly, YouTube doesn't pay that great. What I'm actually making my living off of is my music, which is great that I'm able to do that. But I am not the norm here. I really am not the norm. So many people, of my friends, my peers, people are struggling, and it really sucks to feel like you're alone in it and have people consistently tell you that you're not doing enough and that you're just making it up or you're being lazy, because frankly, you're not. I don't really know where I am going with this video. Like I mentioned, this is spur of the moment. I didn't even script anything. I just, after having a conversation with a friend that was just so beaten down and utterly heartbroken over her situation, it really got to me. It really broke my heart, and it also got me thinking that, God, what if there are people out there right now who don't even have a circle of people that they can have this conversation with? What if they're going through this all alone, and the only thing they're hearing is a feedback loop of, it's their fault, they're not doing enough, they're just being entitled? So, I don't really know how much this will do to help, but if you needed to hear it, this is for you guys. Just keep in mind that there are people out there who acknowledge your struggle. You are doing your best, and all we can do is hope that things will slowly but surely get better, and to just not give up in the meantime. And again, keep in mind, those arbitrary goals are exactly that, they're arbitrary. Just because you are 25 and you don't yet own your own home doesn't mean you're a failure of a mature adult. Just because you're in your 30s and you haven't found the right partner yet, doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. There's not like a ticking timeline of when you have to do these things by. Don't have kids yet and worried about that? Don't be. Like, literally, when you think about it, it's just a stupid, made-up societal thing. All these goals that we are just driving ourselves crazy over and, like, beating ourselves up because we haven't met those goals. Who really said that had to be that way, exactly that way? Because personally, I think it's silly. I think we should do things in our own time when we are able to. I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of just rambling, and this whole video is kind of a mess, but it's just something that I kind of felt like I needed to talk on based on that conversation. It really hurt my heart, and if you're out there and you needed to hear this, I hope this helps. I know it doesn't fix anything, but sometimes just being told that there's someone who understands and you're not wrong, you know, maybe it'll make a difference. Anyway, I believe in each and every one of you guys, and I understand, and I'm not going to judge you and call you lazy and entitled, because I know you're working your butt off and things are very difficult, but you're gonna get there. Alright guys, sorry for the weird video. I will catch you guys all next time with something more on brand. again, I'm just out of whack now. I will see you guys next time. And until then, remember, stay creepy, everybody.